I welcome you to EdCam channel. In this video lecture, we will discuss about solid state. The subtopic we are going to discuss about solids. So we'll discuss about what is a solid, and next we'll discuss about types of solid and classification of the solid. As we already familiar with solids. So what are solids? Solids are something which has definite shape, size and volume. So this picture shows a solid cube, and you are already familiar with what are solids in your lower class. Now we will going to discuss about the depth of solid state. So without a doubt, let's start. Now, solids. So what are solids? Solids are the state of matter in which particles are closely packed, held by a strong force of attraction. So if you think of any solid, as we already studied in our lower class, solid are that in the solid, atoms are tightly packed. So this arrangement of atom, they will form a solid. Now let us look the properties of the solid. First properties, particles are not able to move randomly. Yes, if you'll see that, because they are tightly packed, so it is difficult to move the atoms. They have definite shape, size and volume. If you think of a cube, so a cube has a definite shape, size as well as a volume, right? Solid have high density. Yes, if you think of a density, what is density? Mass per unit volume. So per unit volume, the mass is tightly packed. Hence, we can say that it has high density. Solid have sharp melting point. If you heat the solid, so what will happen? It will take more time to melt the solid. So it has high melting point. They have low compressibility. So if you press this solid, so what will happen? The solid is not going to compress. So they have low compressibility. They have low diffusion. Diffusion means you can say that flow. So solid cannot flow. So types of solid. So solids are divided into two categories. One is the crystalline solid, another is the amorphous solid. So here you can see that a picture shows the crystalline solid. Where you see this picture, this shows the amorphous solid, where atoms are randomly arranged. Here atoms are tightly packed and a definite shape. We'll talk about the shape. They have a definite and regular geometry. You can see this picture. This solid has a definite regular geometry. Amorphous solid do not have definite or regular geometry. See this picture. These atoms are randomly arranged, so they do not have a regular geometry. Melting point. They have definite melting point. Like you can take the example of a cube. So if you heat the cube, they will take much time, or the melting point is much more higher. They do not have a definite melting point. This amorphous solid do not have a definite melting point. Heat of fusion. Heat of fusion means if you supply the amount of heat, the solid is going to absorb the amount of energy and it is going to fuse. So heat of fusion, they have a high definite heat of fusion. That means it will take much heat to fuse. Whereas if you supply the heat in amorphous solid, and this solid is going to fuse very easily. Compressibility. They are rigid and incompressible. As we see that these solids, if we'll apply so much pressure, so what will happen? It is not going to compress. Whereas if you'll see that amorphous solid, they can compressible. Why they can compressible? You see that there are so many space are present. So if you'll compress that, that means this amorphous solid can be compressible. Next we'll see that sharp edge or cutting tools. See, they give clean cleavage if they break into two pieces. That means if you cut this solid, they will break into two pieces. Whereas if you cut the amorphous solid, the geometry will not be a regular geometry. They will give different geometry. Isotropic and anisotropic. So crystalline solids are anisotropic, whereas amorphous solids are isotropic. See what is the meaning? Take the example of NaCl. Okay, so in the NaCl, atoms are arranged like NaCl. This is your Na and this is your Cl. Okay, so NaCl, small is the size of Na and bigger is the size of Cl. So NaCl. Okay, again NaCl. So if we'll cross in the x-axis and y-axis, what will happen? Are we going to get same type of atom in x-axis or y-axis? No. So if we'll cross this, so we'll get NaCl. and if we cross in the y-axis. So in the x-axis we are getting different types of atoms, whereas in the y-axis we are getting same type of atom. So both the axis, both are varies. So in that case we'll call it as an anisotropic. Whereas isotropic means as these are amorphous solid, so atoms are randomly packed, isn't it? So you take axis, like this is one axis and another axis. So what will happen? They are not going to cross the atom. So this is known as isotropic, as both the arrows do not touch any atoms or any solids. Physical state, these are called true solid, whereas amorphous solids are called pseudo solids. Why they are called pseudo solids? Because as the time passes, this solid starts to flow. So don't think like, one day or 2 day. Kind examples are rubber and plastic, or you can think of the glass. So those glass, they will take around 5 years, 10 years, because the thickness will change. Whereas if you take the example of crystalline solids are quartz and the diamonds as the examples of crystalline solid. Next, we'll discuss about types of solid and classification of the solid. So classification of the solid is based upon the intermolecular force of attraction. So in this type, we are talking about the force of attraction. Okay. So those are classified into molecular solid, metallic solid, covalent solid, and ionic solid. So in the molecular solid, we'll discuss about the polar molecular solid, non-polar molecular solid, and hydrogen bonding. Okay. So what are polar molecular solid? Polar molecular solids are like HCl, solid form of SO2, and solid form of ammonia. The meaning is, as we already know that ammonia or SO2 gas or HCl, these are polar molecules, the solid form of polar molecules. So in this solid, what happened? The molecules are polar. So that's why we are call it as a polar molecular solid. Non-polar molecular solid, helium or argon. So as these solid form of this non-polar molecules are non-polar solids. Hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bonding, as we already know, ice. So what happens in the ice? Hydrogen bonds are present. So solid form of water is the example of hydrogen bonding molecular solid. So next one is the metallic solid. So metallic solid means kernels and mobile electrons are constituents particles. Example of Fe, copper, and Ag. So as we already know, these atoms are metallic solid, right? So what is the meaning of kernel? Say iron. If iron loses 2 electron, what will happen? It will Fe2 plus 2 electron. So as we see that there is a positive charge and there is a negative charge. So this positive charge is known as kernel. So there will be force of attraction. So atom Fe and force of attraction and electron. So this force of attraction, the force of attraction between kernel and free electrons or mobile electrons will be metallic solid. Talking about the covalent solid. So non-metallic atoms linked with two adjacent atoms by covalent bonded are constituent particles. They form the giant molecule. See, example is SiC, SiO2, AlN, and graphite. If you think of these examples, so what happens? This SiC, they will form a bigger network. So, and those bigger networks are bonded with a covalent bond. Next one is the ionic solid. As we are already familiar, NaCl, ZnS, or CaF2. What will happen? Because of presence of ionic bond, these NaCls are the solid. So we'll call it as a ionic solid. Now next we'll discuss about the symmetry of the crystal. So there are 3 types of symmetry present. First, symmetry of the crystal, that is plane of symmetry. So it is an imaginary plane which passes through the center of the crystal, can divide into 2 equal portions which are exactly the mirror image of each other. So you see these 3 examples. This is a rectangular shape. So if we'll divide this shape into 2 equal parts, so this plane is dividing this solid into 2 equal parts. So this is the plane of symmetry. You see this example. You can also divide this in this form. So this plane is dividing the total solid into 2 portions. One is upper portion, another is the lower portion. And you can think of this portion. So this plane is dividing that. This is one half and this is another half. So this plane is dividing that solid into 2 equal halves. So all these 3 shapes are dividing that solid into 2 equal halves. Those are known as plane of symmetry. So next we'll discuss about axis of symmetry. It is an imaginary line passing through the crystal. So you can see this taking one cube. So this is the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. So if we'll take this line, from this line, if you'll see that the distance from this axis to the side are equal. So means this axis is passing through the center of this cube. Next we'll discuss about center of symmetry. So it is an imaginary point in the crystal that any line drawn through it intersect the surface of the crystal at equal distance from either side. So the meaning is it is the point inside the cube where from this point if you take any distance to the corner, that will be equal. Next we'll discuss about the study of crystal. So crystal. A crystal is a homogeneous portion of a solid substance made by a regular pattern of structural unit bonded by plane surface making definite angle with each other. See what is the meaning? This is the picture of any crystal. So the meaning says that it is a homogeneous composition where you will find out the regular pattern structure. So if you see that all these are regular pattern, like these are planes present and aids are present and these corners are also present and making a definite angle. See if you'll see that these corners, each corner or each plane making 90 degree with other planes. Okay, so this is the regular shape of a crystal. Next we'll understand the basic few terms that we is going to use in the solid state. So first is the space lattice, the arrangement of constituents like in different sites in three-dimensional space. So how can you understand by space lattice? See, whenever we are talking about any solid, so whatever's in the solids, atoms are tightly packed and a definite regular geometry, right? So what happens if we'll take this atom and instead of atom if we'll put one dot, so what will happen? We will get a arrangement of these dots, right, in the 3D space. So this is 2D space. If we'll consider another axis, so that will be a 3D space. So collection of this point in three-dimensional space are known as space lattice. So next we'll discuss about the unit cell. The smallest repeating unit in a space lattice which repeat over and over again result in a crystal of the given substance. See, how can I understand? As we know that, so we saw that the crystal, right? So in the crystal, your atoms are tightly packed and a definite shape they are arranged. Okay. If we'll remove this atom and instead of atom, if we'll put a dot, so these points are known as lattice point. Okay. Again, and if you'll see that if we'll join this lattice point, we will get a unit, and this unit is repeating, right? For an example here, if we'll construct the whole space lattice and this unit is repeating, so this is one, this is another one, so this is another one, so this unit is called unit cell. Okay, I think you got the point. Basically the repeating unit or the structure which repeats over and over. Next one is face. What is face? The plane surface of the crystal. As we already know, if we'll construct one cube, so the face will be this portion, like this is the face of the cube. Okay, so how many faces are there? Total 6 faces in a cube. Edge, an edge is formed by the intersection of two adjacent faces. So this is the edge. Okay, so how many edges are there? So total 12 edges are there. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, then subscribe to my channel EdGame and share with your friends. If you want to connect with me with my social media account, my Instagram and Twitter handle is this. So till then, bye.